Hello everyone, I hope you all are keeping fine. Today in this topic we have the part 3 modern history and the last session of history. The period of modern history begins after the revolt of 1857. Modern history is all about the British rule and the British Empire in India. So in order to know the background knowledge of how Britishers came into India, one has to go back where the Britishers once came as a trader or merchant, but became the ruler with the Battle of Plassey, which is in 1757, and the Battle of Buxar, which is in 1764. So these two battles, that is the Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar, led to the foundations of British Empire in India. So if we see this topic, we have the first topic, that is the advent of Europeans. The advent of Europeans, the chronological order where the European countries came to India, the first one is the Portuguese, and then the second one is the Dutch, and the third one is the English, and the fourth one is the Danes, and the fifth one is the French. And one also have to keep in mind their factories, and the first factory which were established in a particular area of in India. And in the second we have the events. This is the modern history, like example with the formation of Indian National Congress in 1885, and I will just name out some important events like 1905, the partition of Bengals, and then 1907, the Surat split, 1915, 1916, Lucknow Pact, and so on. So these are the kinds of events that is happening in the modern history. Social reformers can be broadly classified into two categories. One is the reformist. Reformists try to change or improve the societal conditions. Example is the Brahmo Samaj, through the leadership of Ram Mohan Roy, try to improve the societal conditions of that time. So the evil practice of sati was banned through the initiatives of this Brahmo Samaj. On the other hand, revivalists try to revive the old societal condition which is in a detrimental stage. Example is the Arya Samaj, founded by Dayanand Saraswati. His famous slogan, "Go back to Vedas." Then we have the militant nationalist movement, can be seen in two phases. The first phase, which is in 1907 to 1917, evolved due to the partition of Bengal, which is in 1905. On the other hand, the second phase, which is in 1922 to 1930, evolved due to the failure of the non-cooperation movement. In Governor Generals, one has to see some important legislation taking place during the time of Governor Generals, important battles, and some extreme important events taken place during the time of the Governor Generals. And if we come to the list of INC president, one also has to need to know the importance of the Indian National Congress president, such as the first president of INC, and the first Muslim president, and the first British president, and the first women presidents, and so on. With the formations of Indian National Congress in 1885, the moderate phase begins. In the initial period of time, the nationalist leaders, their approach towards the British authorities are more or less like in a moderation, as they did not want to disappoint the British authorities for any demands that they want the British authorities to concede for their demands. So they rely on constitutional agitations, and their methods are prayers and petitions. Leaders such as the Dadabhai Naoroji, S.N. Banerjee, Badruddin Tyabji, he was the first Muslim president, and Feroz Shah Mehta. Then comes the extremist phase, which is in 1905 to 1920. The extremist phase begins with the partitions of Bengal, and the most famous trial we call as Lal Bal Pal. Extremists rely on mass, and their main goal is to self-rule and Swaraj. And one of the famous slogans of Tilak is Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it. Then comes the Gandhian era. Mahatma Gandhi has played an important role in the nationalist movement and played an immense role in shaping the modern history of India. So this is why you are expected to know about Mahatma Gandhi for any types of exams. So this is the mind mapping of Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi era. We have Gandhi era can be of two types. During his stays in South Africa and in India after he came in 1915. So the struggles, the first phase is the moderate phase, which is in 1893 to 1905, with the foundation of National India Congress in South Africa 1894, and in 1904 he have started the Indian Opinion magazines, and in 1906 the first civil disobedience movement against the ordinance in the Transvaal. And in the second phase, also called as the Satyagraha or the passive resistance phase, which is in 1906 to 1914. The first one is the Satyagraha against registration certificate, that is in 1906. And when he came to India, it can be categorized into this way. The first initial phase is localized. The Champaram Satyagraha, which is in 1917, is the first civil disobedience movement. Then Ahmedabad mill strike, this is in Gujarat, in 1918. This is the first hunger strike. Then the Kheda Satyagraha in 1918, which is considered as the first non-cooperation movement. These satyagrahas are localized in nature. Their agitations are localized in a particular areas. Then comes the All India level, that is the non-cooperation movement, which is the All India level movement, that is in 1920, and the civil disobedience movement, which is in 1930. Then Quit India movement, which is in 1942. These are the three All India level under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Then we have the Mahatma sent by Rabindranath Tagore in 1917. Half called as Half Naked sent by Winston Churchill in 1931. Rashtrapita or the Father of the Nation by Subhash Chandra Bose. This is the non-cooperation movement which was started in 1920. Then comes the Dandi March and the civil disobedience movement in 1930 to 31. The civil disobedience movement was started with Dandi March in order to break the salt law. We call that as a salt satyagraha. So the Dandi March started with 78 satyagrahis, but soon 50,000 protesters were following Papu. People of all ages and walk of life joined. 16-year-old Vittal Leelander Thakur was the youngest. It was called a white flowing river as all the satyagrahis were white khadis. So it started in Sabarmati Ashram, and the end is the Dandi. We call this as Dandi March, 395 kilometer. Then comes the Quit India movement, which is in 1942, and the famous slogans given by Mahatma Gandhi is "Do or die," asking the Britishers to quit India. Then we have another famous mission, that is the cabinet mission in 1946. There have been few questions seen based on these cabinet missions. The members of the cabinet missions, the questions have been asked even in UPSC. The members are Alexander, left to right, this is Alexander. Then Lord Patrick Lawrence, this is Lord Patrick Lawrence. And Lord Wavell is the Governor General or the Viceroy of that time. And then we have the Sir Stafford Cripps, and he was sent in 1944, also called as the Cripps mission in 1944, Cripps mission. The purpose of this mission is to provide the schemes for interim governments and then laid the principles and procedures for the framing of new constitutions. So this is some few rough idea and the mind mapping of the modern history. So if we see the CPO 2023 here, 3rd October Shift 1. Which of the following was established by Jyotirao Govindrao Phule in 1873 to fight against idolatry and caste systems? So these questions was framed with from this topic, that is social reformers. Then question 22, the deliberations of the representatives at the third round table conference was held during the later months of which year? So these questions, the third round table conference was framed based on this topic. So the questions based on frame were on these two topics, that is events and social reformers. And if we see the 3rd October Shift 2 2023 exams, we have question number 15, who among the following founded an expatriate Communist Party of India at Tashkent in 1920? So these questions are framed based on this topic, militant nationalist movement. And question number 23, which of the following organization was founded in Pune, Satara and other towns of Maharashtra that work against Brahmanical orthodoxy and tried to reform Hinduism? So these questions are framed based on these social reformers. And question number 30, in which of the following years was the Muslim League formed? And this question was also framed based on these events. So this is how SSC questions are framed based on this topic. You can expect this kind of pattern in the coming years of SSC exams, especially CPO 2024. This is how you should balance the topic when you study modern history. If you haven't seen Ancient History Part 1 and Medieval History Part 2, it is highly recommendable you should watch it in order to master and score decent marks of history in SSC exams. I hope you like the video. If you have any doubts regarding today's session, you can tell me in the comment section below. Until then, take care. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.